because I'm.
Whenever I drive her over there, I gotta kill 3 hours. I'd rather watch a game than. Being 7 o'clock, we will call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bosphus.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Shimmons. Commissioner Stefanski.
Here.
Commissioner Twardy. Here.
Commissioner Gary.
I'd make a motion to excuse Commissioner Lynn and Commissioner Shimmons. Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I would ask those people with cell phones if they would please put them on vibrate or mute them. We would appreciate it. And also, before we get onto the agenda, I just wanted people listening at home, or viewing us at home, Dan Daschle from Cloverton Electric, President and Chief Executive Officer, is here tonight, and he will give us an update on the electric rates as they may affect us in the Eastern UP. So that shouldn't be that far from now, because hopefully the agenda shouldn't take that long to get to, but we thought we'd hold Dan off until more folks get a chance to tune in here. So with that, item number 1, public comment on scheduled agenda items. Any person may reserve the time to speak on an agenda item not to exceed 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on an agenda item? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to the item number 2, the consent agenda. City Clerk, please.
Under the consent agenda, A, minute approval. 1, approval of the minutes of the regular City Commission meeting of February 16th. Recommended action, approve the minutes of the regular City Commission meeting of February 16th, 2015. Item 2, acceptance of the minutes of the following boards and commission. A is Economic Development Corporation of January 13th. B, PEHP Police Sergeant Unit of February 12th. C, Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission of January 15th. And D, Tax Increment Financing Authority of November 11th, 2014. Recommended action, accept the minutes of the various boards and commissions. Item 2, appointments and resignations. 1, appointment to the Airport Board. Recommended action, appoint Teresa Wolski to the Airport Board to fill the balance of a term to expire on January 1, 2017. And item 2, reappointment to the Dial-A-Ride Local Advisory Council. Recommended action, reappoint Harriet Clow, Sharon Mayer, for terms to expire July 1, 2015, and Carolyn DePlanty and Doris Martin for terms to expire July 1, 2016 to the Dial-A-Ride Local Advisory Council. Item C, communications. 1, from the Michigan Department of Transportation, resolution designating City Clerk Robin Troyer and City Manager Oliver Turner as the authorized signatories for all agreements relating to Dial-A-Ride. Recommended action, approve resolution designating City Clerk Robin Troyer and City Manager Oliver Turner as the authorized signatories for all agreements relating to Dial-A-Ride. And item D, City Manager's Report. 1, authorization of purchase of generic time from the Michigan Municipal Employees Retirement System, MERS, by David Pauley. Recommended action, approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of 11 months of generic time from MERS by David Pauley at a cost of $6,000, $949, with the employee paying 100% of the estimated actuarial cost.
Okay, thank you. Is there something that a commissioner would like further explained on the consent agenda? Commissioner Stefanski.
So move that the commission approve the consent agenda.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Bosphus?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
yes,
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item 3, special orders of business. A is public hearing of necessity on Prospect Alley reconstruction project.
Okay, thank you very much. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The 2013 to 2014 fiscal year budget provided for the completion of a project that would be undertaken to repair Prospect Alley, colloquially referred to as the Evening News Alley, between Arlington Street and West Spruce Street. The proposed repairs would consist of pulverizing existing asphalt, reshaping, and resurfacing. As commissioners are also aware, this alley is utilized by businesses for deliveries, through traffic, and employee and customer parking, and additionally provides the only available access for Park Place City Center residential parking. DDA Director Nepper has been in contact with property owners adjoining the alley and is reporting that they are unanimously in support of this project. The total cost for this project is estimated to be approximately $25,000. Exactly 60% of the project cost would be derived through special assessments and 40% would be derived through previously appropriated city funds. The actual dollar amount for the special assessments would be based on the actual bid prices received for this project. If the City Commission continues with the special assessment process, the engineering department will prepare the project for bidding and upon receipt of qualified bids, prepare and send a notification to all affected property owners advising them of the estimated costs expected to be collected through the established special assessment as well as the number of annual installments over which the assessment would be spread. At the same time, the property owners would also be advised of the time and place for the public roll hearing to be held by the City Commission regarding this project. Construction is expected to occur in the summer of 2015. Accordingly, it's my recommendation that the City Commission first hold a public hearing of necessity to receive public input regarding Special Assessment Project ST-01-15 for the reconstruction of Prospect Alley, and secondarily approve the included resolution declaring these improvements to be necessary. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and at this time, we'll hold a public hearing of necessity regarding Special Assessment Project ST-01-15 for the reconstruction of Prospect Alley. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to make a comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. City Commission. Commissioner Tuorty.
I so move that we approve the, thank you. I move that we approve the city manager's recommendation.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes,
Mayor Bosphus?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you.
Item B under special orders of business is public hearing and authorization for the submission of a community development block grant application for AMI Industries Job Training Grant. A is public hearing and B is approval of the authorizing resolution.
Okay, thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As commissioners are aware, AMI Industries has increased its local workforce to 100 employees throughout the summer of 2014 and has since then continued to grow steadily. Currently, AMI Industries has approximately 110 employees and has plans to expand into the 20,000 square foot vacant wing of its existing building. As a result of this expansion, AMI Industries plans to hire 100 new employees over a 2-year period of time. AMI Industries has requested job training assistance from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, MEDC, through a community development block grant program to support this expansion. A CDBG grant offer in the amount of $500,000 was received by AMI Industries for on-the-job training connected to this growth. As additional background, AMI Industries is a tubular manufacturer for the automotive, heavy construction, agriculture, recreational, and light and heavy truck industries. Throughout its expansion, AMI Industries intends to invest $3.7 million and create 100 new jobs within the community over the next 2 years. Sault Ste. Marie was in direct competition with the state of Indiana for these new jobs. Mr. Les Thornton, CFO for AMI Industries, has indicated that the Sioux has the workforce necessary to support the company's continued growth, and that with the help of the EDC and the EUP Michigan work staff, AMI Industries will be able to recruit and train the 100 new workers needed for this planned expansion. The EDC board has supported the submission of the included application by the city to the MEDC to obtain job training funds in the amount of $500,000 to support this project. As EDC Executive Director Klaus notes in her included materials, both she and Mr. Thornton had a scheduling conflict that prevented their being in attendance while this item is acted upon by the City Commission. Ultimately, the administration and EDC truly appreciate the investments being made in the community by AMI Industries. Accordingly, it is my recommendation that the City Commission first hold a duly scheduled and required public hearing regarding the submission of the included CDBG application to the MEDC, and secondarily that the City Commission approve the included resolution authorizing the submission of a CDBG application by the city to the MEDC for AMI Industries to receive $500,000 in job training funds. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, we'll hold a public hearing regarding the submission of the Community Development Block Grant Program for AMI Industries. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to make a comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioner Bauer being the liaison to the EDC.
Thanks. One thing I wanted to bring up, just to put this in perspective, is that if AMI is successful in growing 100 jobs over the next 2 years, then that would mean about, and I say about because the actual amount of jobs in industry changes daily, but that would be about a 17.5% increase in manufacturing jobs in this town.
That's great.
Beyond that, I had a talk with Jim Hendricks about this today, and I had asked him because, you know, even though I've been the liaison for 10 years, of course, Jim's knowledge goes way back, and I asked him, you know, if he ever remembered having that many industrial jobs, you know, at one time here in the Sioux, and he said, no, this is probably a record if they achieve that.
Okay.
You know what
That
I mean?
would put us
So,
close to 700, over
Yeah.
700 jobs. I would
close
think.
to 700.
Yeah,
But anyway, I move
excellent.
that the commission approve the included resolution authorizing the submission of the CDBG application by the city to the MEDC for AMI Industries to receive $500,000 in job training funds.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any comments or questions? Just to reiterate what Commissioner Bauer was saying, this commission has gone on record, and we have in the past talked about growing wealth in our community, and certainly the growth of industrial jobs in our community is just great news, and we'll do whatever we can as a commission to support growing the folks that are here, the employers, the industrial base as we can. And this Community Development Block Grant Program is certainly one of the ways, and we certainly support and certainly acknowledge AMI and the work that they continue to do for the city of Sault Ste. Marie, and we're glad they're here in this community, as well as others, no question. So, roll call, please.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Bostos?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item C under special orders of business, the second reading of an ordinance to amend Article 7 Off-Road Vehicles, Section 24-158, Section 24-159, and Section 24-167 of the Sault Ste. Marie Code, and to add subsection F to Section 24-158 and amend subsection 24-159, parentheses D, and to amend the subsection 24-167.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. At its February 16th, 2015 regular meeting, the City Commission unanimously approved a first reading of the proposed ordinance pertaining to the designation of ORV trails. At that time, the Commission scheduled a second reading for this ordinance to occur during this meeting. As Commissioners are aware, at a recent meeting with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, City staff became aware of an opportunity to improve the quality of the trail between South Street and Ashman Bay Park. Provided the city would be willing to designate portions of South Street and Ashman Bay Park Trail as being open to off-road vehicles, the DNR indicated it would pay to upgrade and maintain the surface of the Ashman Bay Park Trail and also install vault toilet restroom facilities at a new trailhead located in Ashman Bay Park. As indicated at the February 16, 2015 regular meeting, there is presently no mechanism within the city's code of ordinances that allows the City Commission to make such designations. The proposed included ordinance would create such a mechanism and allow the City Commission to designate portions of city streets and rights-of-way, as well as city alleys, parks, or parking lots as being open to ORV use through the adoption of a resolution. It should be noted that the administration reached out by mail to the owners of the 3 residential structures along South Street by which the proposed ORV trail would pass, asking for comment on the proposal. As of February 26, 2015, no comments have been received regarding this proposed project. Accordingly, it is my recommendation that the City Commission first hold a public hearing regarding the adoption of the proposed ordinance amendments, and secondarily, approve the ordinance amendments as presented by the administration. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, at this time, we hold a public hearing on the proposed ordinance amendments relating to the ORV off-road vehicles trail. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to make a comment at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioner Stefanski.
So move that the commission approve the ordinance amendments.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Basspas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item 4, communications. A, from Dial-A-Ride. A is approval of the operations plan. B, approval of the operating budget for the program year beginning October 1, 2015. And C, resolution of intent to apply for state and federal assistance for fiscal year 2016.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Annually, the City of Sault Ste. Marie makes application to the Michigan Department of Transportation for operating funds for the Dial-A-Ride bus system as administered by the Community Action Agency. As part of the city's agreement with Community Action Agency for the operation of the bus system, the agency is required to submit an operating plan and budget to the City Commission prior to March 15th of each year. The attached plan has no changes proposed from the current operating year. As noted within a memorandum, Attachment B includes the revenue and expense schedules for the Dial-A-Ride system for the 2016 program year, which begins October 1st, 2015. The request in state operating assistance will be $149,391.20, and the request for federal operating assistance will be $65,920. The city's contribution would remain at $92,313.59 for the 2016 program year. The Local Advisory Council for Dial-A-Ride recommends that the City Commission approve the fiscal year 2016 funding proposal, and Mr. Ken Stott from Community Action Agency is here tonight to answer any questions that the Commission may hold. Accordingly, it is my recommendation, first, that the City Commission accept the operating plan for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2015, and secondarily, that the City Commission approve the proposed budget for Dial-A-Ride with $412,000 in proposed revenues and $412,000 in proposed expenses for the 2016 fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2015, and finally, that the City Commission approve a resolution of intent to apply for financial assistance for the fiscal year 2016 under Act 51 of Public Acts of 1951, authorizing an application for state financial assistance and appointing Mr. Ron Callery and/or Mr. Ken Stott as the transportation coordinator for all public transportation matters. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Those are 3 separate recommendations in discussion with the city attorney. Those are 3 separate motions. Commissioner Stefanski is the commissioner liaison to the Dial-A-Ride program. Would you like to continue?
So move that the city commission accept the operating plan for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2015.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Basspas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Continue.
So move that the city commission approve the proposed budget for Dial-A-Ride with $412,000 in the proposed revenue and $412,000 in expenses for the 2016 fiscal year beginning October 1, 2015.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Motion carried.
So moved that the City Commission approve a resolution of intent to apply for financial assistance for the fiscal year 2016, which begins October 1, 2015, under Act 51 of the Public Acts of 1951, authorizing an application for state financial assistance and appointing Ron Callery and/or Ken Stott as the transportation coordinator for the public transportation matters.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty?
Yes.
Mayor Bosmas?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Item number 5 is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A under the city manager's report would provide authorization for the city manager to execute an amendment to the agreement with UP Engineers and Architects for the Puller Community Building renovation project. As indicated within the memorandum, the Puller Community Building renovation project originally included a proposed addition that included a Zamboni room, a shop, a staff room, an additional locker room, and renovations to the Eagles locker room. Due to budgetary constraints, the addition was removed from Phase 1 of the project. In addition, the existing northwest men's restroom that was to be eliminated with a new restroom as part of the original addition was not added to the original renovation plan. With the main renovations to the Puller Community Building in Phase 1 being successfully completed, the decision has been made to move forward with a smaller addition to house the Zamboni and provide room for storing spare rink glass and to perform the renovations to the northwest men's restroom. UP Engineers and Architects has submitted a proposal to perform engineering services for the design and construction of a 1,180 square foot addition and to remodel the northwest bathroom. Their proposal includes design, bidding, and construction administrative services. The memorandum originally indicated that they would charge $20,000 for this work. However, since the distribution of this item, they have sent in a notice that they will provide $1,500 in an in-kind donation, which would reduce their cost for these services down to $18,500. This would bring the total amended contract amount for UP Engineers to $132,074 for the project. Accordingly, it is my recommendation that the City Commission authorize the City Manager to execute the included and proposed contract with UP Engineers and Architects in the amount of $18,500 for the design, bidding, and engineering administrative services for the restroom renovation and Zamboni addition at the Puller. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Tuarty.
I move that the City Commission authorize the City Manager to execute the UP Engineers and Architects amendment in the amount of $20,000. I guess that would be reduced to $18,500 for design, bidding, and engineering administration services for the restroom renovation and Zamboni addition to the Puller.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions or comments? Just one, I'd like to thank UP Engineers for their generosity, the $1,500, an additional $1,000 that they gave on Phase 1, they're up to $2,500. We'll continue to talk to them. Maybe by the time the project is done, we can get a little more. Who knows? We're still in the fundraising aspect of the Puller, and Phase 2 is about last look. It looked like about 80,000 short of the 260 that we needed. The committee is moving forward with additional names to contact, and again, we certainly appreciate the generosity of the Eastern Upper Peninsula, for the most part, cities, Sault Ste. Marie and surrounding area, that have been very generous in support of the Puller Stadium project, and the Zamboni area that we know needs to be taken care of for safety reasons, as well as just to have an area where you can have a dump station inside the building, so that the vehicle doesn't have to go outside and then take it down the street. The tire wear and that stuff on the studded tires is not good. So as we move into the 76th anniversary of the building, just to let you know too that the Hockeyville application, and talking with Linda Hoth from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, has been submitted and been accepted. Now the idea is to be one of the top 10 in the country, and that's the goal that we're at. Presently trying to get to be the top 10, and then once that goes, I think there's a voting that goes on. So we'll have more information as we move down that path. So thank everyone for their participation in that endeavor also. So anyone else? Commissioner Tuardi.
I made a motion.
Oh, you made a motion. Okay.
And it was supported.
That's right. We're into discussion. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuardi,
Yes.
Mayor Bosma.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Item B, under the city manager's report, would provide for the approval of a design engineering contract with C2AE for utility repairs connected with the urgent need grant funding received by the city of Sault Ste. Marie. I have requested that city engineer Linda Basista make a presentation regarding this subject matter.
Evening, Linda.
Evening. As you know, back in November, you approved authorization to receive the urgent needs grant that was received as a result of the deep freeze from last year. And so in response to that, the engineering department put out an RFP for engineering services for the utility repairs. The deadline for receiving proposals for that design was February 17th, and we received 3 proposals from engineering firms. One was C2AE, one was NDG, and the other was from the SIDOC group. The RFP was to do was for the design for 4 out of the six projects that are part of the urgent needs grant. Two of the streets, one is the East Spruce storm sewer, and the other one is the Maple Street water main. We have asked for and received permission from the MEDC to go ahead and add that to our contracts with BACO for construction and C2AE for design for those, because Maple Street is right in the CSO area, and then East Spruce is on the other side of the bridge from where the CSO work is being done. So that bridge will be closed, and we'll able to get that construction done at the same time. So the MEDC agreed to allow us to waive the bidding and the request for proposals for the construction and the engineering for those 2 streets. And so those are being done outside of this RFP that I had submitted or issued for construction design engineering. So the 2 projects that were part of this proposal was for Riverside Drive, that's about 2,200 linear feet of 12-inch water main from about Mission Street to just before the golf course driveway. And the other project, which includes 3 streets, Ridge Street, Sova Street, and Grove Cap, those were 150 to 300 and some linear feet of water main, that I've since decided, since issuing the RFP, that we're just going to bring the design in-house for those 3 small street sections. And so we eliminated those from the contract. So we received 3 proposals. All 3 had their qualifications and fee proposals for both projects. But as I said, I brought the second project in-house. So the proposal that is in front of you today for approval to award the contract to C2AE in the amount of $12,100, and that is for the design of Riverside Drive. After DPW Director Jim Morrow and I reviewed the proposals based on first qualifications and capacity to do the work. And this is a little unique because it's CDBG grant, the urgent needs grant is CDBG, and has a lot of requirements associated with it that felt we needed a qualified engineer who's dealt with CDBG grants before. And after reviewing the 3 proposals, C2AE scored the highest, and then then we opened the fee proposals, and the fee proposals were such that C2AE also had the lowest fee, so we're recommending that award of the design for Riverside Drive go to C2AE.
Okay, thank you. All set?
Yes, thank you, Linda. Appreciate the presentation.
Any questions of city engineer? Okay, we have, we need a motion, Commissioner Bauer.
The highest score and lowest bid, you can't really get much better than that, right?
Exactly.
So I move the commission authorize the city manager to execute a contract with C2AE for the completion of engineering design services for the completion of utility repairs along Riverside Drive in the amount of $12,100.
Support.
It's been moved, supported. Are there any questions? That's just a quick statement, I guess. That's the line, that's the blue line that's been on the side of in the snow from Mission Road to about where you're talking about where the golf course starts, and that blue hose will be replaced with a new sewer. Is it, no, water main? Okay, I'll get those right. Thank you. As one of the projects, anyway. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stefanski?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty?
Yes.
Mayor Vasquez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Gary?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
That concludes the scheduled items for the city manager's report, but as an addition, I've requested that DPW Director Moreau make a presentation regarding let runs and thawings that are occurring within the city at this point in time.
Okay, great.
Good evening. I'll try
Evening.
not to bore you with too much data tonight because I have a lot of it. As you're well aware, this winter is at least as bad as last year, and worse in a number of ways. On an average winter, which this one is not, we usually put out about 113 let run accounts just on that. Now, these addresses would freeze up, 3-4 feet of frost on a typical every average winter. This year, we put our 113 regular counts on January 19th, which was a couple weeks after last year. And typically we do it around Christmas time. I mean, because we had all that all that snow in November, so everything, the frost wasn't going down too well. Well, late January and early part of February, we had some really, really cold temperatures. In fact, I haven't seen the final data on February yet, but it had to be close to record breaking. I believe we had one day above normal, and it was 1 degree above normal. So it was a wonderful month. Anyway, so what we tried to do this year, we had so much data to work with from last year. Last year hit us, blindsided us. We had nothing to really go on, but this year we have all of the accounts that we thawed last year, on what day we thawed them, correlating to frost depths that we tracked last year, also with like main breaks and things like that. So what we tried to do is as the frost deepened, we used that information from last year and try to keep a couple weeks ahead all the time. So we put 50 more accounts on January 10th when the frost got to a certain point, or excuse me, February 10th. Frost kept going deeper. We put 50 more accounts on February 16th, 50 more on February 20th. So we were trying to keep a couple weeks ahead all the time. Well, in the last week, we lost it. The frost got past last year, so we had no data to really go on. So we put additional 61 accounts on today. Now, as of today, we have 354 accounts on let run. Last year at this time, we had about 260. So right now we have let runs on equivalent to would be March 22nd last year, and we only have a few more to go. So we're trying to keep ahead of the game, but the frost really went down the last week or so. Just today, for example, we had one main break on the 1100 block of Court Street. We thawed 20 accounts. 10 had never froze from last year. All last year, 10 of those accounts never froze. I believe there's 3 on the 200 block of Ashman that froze this year that we had to take care of. 6 were already on let run. People shut their water off. It was sunny out. So they shut, it's warmer today, please don't shut your water off if you're on let run.
We
And,
keep telling people that once we tell you to let your water run, let it run
Let it
until
run.
we tell you not to let it run.
Yes, there'll be
Okay.
press releases, until you hear from us, please let your water run.
Yeah.
Again, we had, 6 out of 20 today, we had to break crews away to rethaw. We could have been doing something else. And 4 froze today, the remaining 4 froze before we put cards out. We knew they were gonna freeze relatively soon, but couldn't do it. Couldn't get there in time. Again, we're catching up. We're caught up as of today. We have as many let runs on up to like March 22nd last year. So I think we're doing okay, other than the ones that we just don't have data on. For example, we thawed one on the 1500 block of Swinton. This lady lived at that house for 65 years, and she had never froze up till today. So, but another issue that we're running across is all that snow that we had back in November 13th. It was a record-breaking November. So what people are doing, they're plowing their driveways back farther and farther and farther to make room. So, they're plowing over their water lines running into their house. So that frost is going down where they never had that problem the last few years. So we're trying to find reasons why we're getting more freezes
Sure.
Than last year. Some other comparisons to last year. As of today, we had 75 thaws. We have 75 accounts we thawed. 20 of them were today. So last year at this time, we had 144. So we're trying to keep ahead of the game. But again, 35% of those 75 were already on let run that people are shutting their water off. Or they just didn't have their water running fast enough. There's some legitimate reasons why we're rethawing a number of these accounts. Main breaks, as of since December 1st, when we consider the winter season starting as far as frost depths, we have repaired 9 main breaks this year so far. Last year at this time we did 15. So we're ahead of the game on that. The main break time is when the frost really comes out of the ground. So we have springtime. Last year we did 41 total, and most of those were when the frost was coming out of the ground between like April 15th and May 10th. So you're going to have to deal with that issue coming up. But it's a significant winter so far, and we have a long ways to go yet as far as.
I hate to ask you the good question if we know what the financial impact was last year, about $1.4 million. I hate to ask you what, since we're in a little better shape with the historical background that we have, you can't avoid breaks type of thing. So hopefully we aren't anywhere near those numbers right now.
Well,
Are we? Or
the biggest costs from last year were the busted water mains in
Yes.
the springtime.
Yeah.
And those are the ones we got the grants for.
Okay.
Like Riverside Drive, Grove
Yeah.
Cap, Sova, Ridge Street. About $250,000 of last year was water main repairs and
Okay.
thawing. So we had about $250,000 last year. Now, we're way ahead of the game as far as being proactive, turning on accounts that would have froze by now.
Okay.
But who knows? And I'd like to make another point. We get a lot of calls saying, well, why can't you put the whole town on let run? We can't do it. As a water system our size, we're just not capable of doing that compared to like smaller communities like Brimley or Rudyard or somebody like that. An average let run uses about between 1,000 and 1,500 gallons a day. So if we put just half of our customers on let run, that would be nearly half of our production, leaving nothing left for our normal use, fire protection, water main breaks. I mean, the Sioux Builders fire, the fire department used 800,000 gallons. So, those can happen anytime. A water main break we had on Easter Day Avenue last February, we used about 300,000, 350. So, you got to be prepared for those situations and you need that little cushion. So we just can't put the whole town on that run. So we're trying to be as
Understand.
selective as we can while being proactive. And it's kind of a balancing act that we have to follow.
okay.
But all in all, I believe we're far better off than last year. Last year exposed a lot of weak areas in the system that we're going to address this summer, and, which you voted on tonight. So we're ahead of the game, but there's a lot of winter left. So.
Okay. Any questions of Jim? Keep up the good work.
Certainly appreciate Jim's work and would also like to compliment the city staff that has been responding to this. Was in contact with Mr. Morrow on Friday at 9:30 at night, and he was indicating his crew was jumping into freezing water to fix a broken water main. So they face very difficult conditions, and just appreciate their continued service to the city. And if there are any issues that residents have, they can call the utility billing at 906-632-5722.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the update. Does that conclude the city manager's report?
It does. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Item number 6, matters presented by the public, and again, we have with us, and if you'd like to come forward, Dan Daschel, President and Chief Executive Officer of Cloverland Electric, that will give us an update on the electric rates.
Good evening,
Evening.
City Commissioners. Thank you for giving me some time to explain where we are with the whole situation that's going on in the UP. But first, I'd like to say thank you to Director Charlie Litzner, who showed up this evening to show a little support. His lovely wife, Nina, and my lovely wife, Maura, is here as well. We've been going through a tremendous process in battling the cost increases that have been thrown at us by the federal government through the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And it started last year, and it's associated with the fact that the mining interests up in Marquette left their electric supplier, Wisconsin Electric, and went to an alternative energy supplier, which is allowed by Michigan law. The only problem is that they took 80% of Wisconsin Electric's load. So Wisconsin Electric said, we're going to close the largest power plant in the UP, the Presque Isle Power Plant. However, the folks that operate the grid, a group called MISO, said, oh, no, you're not. We need that power plant or the lights will go out in the UP. So Wisconsin Electric said, well, if you pay me about $117 million, we will keep the plant open for 1 year. And MISO, of course, who doesn't have any money but takes it from the people that pay their utility bills, said, okay, we'll pay you that. And that started the whole process of what they call SSR payments associated with the Presque Isle Power Plant. And then Wisconsin said, wait a minute, this is not fair. We didn't do anything. Michigan's law caused this problem. Therefore, Wisconsin should not pay. And in July of last year, FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission in Washington, D.C., agreed with Wisconsin and said that's true. It should be paid by those people who benefit. And those people who benefit happen to be in the UP. So the UP should pay and Wisconsin shouldn't pay. Well, we are heavily involved in this case, and we were making arguments at the federal government level and hired a FERC attorney, and we're battling this left and right, and arguing very strenuously that the eastern UP does not benefit from the Presque Isle Power Plant, therefore we should not pay. However, MISO, the way they set it up, in terms of how they bill people, they say, no, the group that benefits is going to make the payments, and we're going to say that everybody in the UP benefits to a certain degree, and it just so happens that Cloverland, regardless of the fact that if it really gets benefits, has to pay about 25% of these costs. So we were looking at a bill that started out at over $22.5 million that Cloverland was going to have to pay. Needless to say, and as I came to you a couple of months ago and talked about this, this is what we were fighting off. And we made some very strenuous arguments that if you really benefit from the plant running, then you should really pay. And Cloverland does not really benefit. Cloverland should not pay. Well, a lot has happened. We, the members of Cloverland, the City Commission, the counties, a lot of different groups got together and contacted their elected representatives. They contacted FERC. They contacted MISO, and they said, this is unfair. They made their voices heard. If you get about 10 letters as an elected representative, you're like, oh, that's interesting. If you get 50, it's like, uh-oh, what's that? If you get 200, 300, 400, you take action. we had Representative Dan Banachek and Senator Stabenow get together and write a piece of legislation aimed right at FERC. Was that a great thing? If there's anything a group in Washington, D.C. worries about, it's when Congress decides to do something with their group. So I think we got their attention. Our membership got their attention. They listened to us, and they found out that there was a place called the UP up here in Michigan, and they learned all about our situation and what our members told them. It worked great. We argued very strenuously. Look, to get rid of these payments, all we have to do is get the mines to go back to Wisconsin Electric. And that would be a very good place. We'd end the SSR payments if that happened. And lo and behold, with our membership pushing very hard for this, the mines on February 1st said, okay, we'll go back to Wisconsin Electric. And we're like, wow, that's great news. And then Wisconsin Electric said, yeah, but we're not going to lift the SSR payments until after this new deal that they came up with in January got done in sometime now in July. So Cloverland went from $22 million down to $16 million in terms of risk that we would have to pay. Well, we didn't think that was fair, and we made a very strenuous argument that that should not be done. And in addition to that, we found out that not only is Wisconsin Electric got the mines back on February 1st, they were also getting SSR payments. So we said, well, gee, that looks like double dipping to us. And oh, no, that's not double dipping. And then the governor's office got involved and said, no, you're right, it's not double dipping, it's triple dipping. And they got on their case, and the Public Service Commission down in Lansing got on the case of Wisconsin Electric. And lo and behold, on the 15th of February, they decided that they would agree to pull the SSR payments back to February. Now this leaves us with a 2-month piece, which is about $4.6 million. We're still not totally happy, but this whole thing is moving in our direction because our memberships got involved and contacted people. Well, lo and behold, on the 19th of February, here comes FERC out of the blue. We were surprised. And they said, you know what? Cloverland's right. We're telling you, MISO, who's coming up with the cost allocation, that you can only bill the people who get the benefit. And we want you to go back and redo the whole way you're doing your study and come up with a new way of doing it. And we're going to back up all the costs until February 1st of 2014. So they're going all the way back to the beginning and reallocating all those costs. And that is good news for Cloverland, good news for all of us, because it looks like at this point in time that that $22 million bill that went down to about $16 million, that went down to about $4 million, dare I say, could be a refund. Mm-hmm. We've been making some small payments on the SSR throughout this time, so we'll see how that goes. Now, I'd love to say, great, victory, we're done, we're no more fighting. Well, that's not what's going to happen, because now what has to happen, and after February 19th, MISO has 60 days to come back and say how they're going to allocate the costs. Then all the parties to this case can get back in there with their lawyers and fight about how that allocation goes and see what they do, and we'll have to get the answers from MISO. But at this point in time, I couldn't be any happier with the way this has turned out. It has moved in our direction just incredibly. The idea that the mines went back to Wisconsin Electric as retail customers, that was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. In November, it was a pipe dream that we at Cloverland and our membership were pushing, telling everybody to make that happen. But everybody said to us, oh, they'll never do that. They don't like each other. And it actually came about. And Wisconsin Electric accepted it. We got the SSR pretty much taken care of at this point in time. And I can't say enough about Senator Wayne Schmidt, Senator Tom Casperson, Lee Chatfield. all working for us in Lansing and getting people's attention for what we're doing. We got one more piece that we're working on that's certainly not going to impact the costs, but we're looking to make a better connection to the Lower Peninsula, provide better infrastructure to this area at the eastern end of the UP, because we know we're not getting benefits from the west, and we need to make our own benefits come out of the Lower Peninsula and be better tied to Michigan, make Michigan one state electrically. And we're going to fight for that very hard and see if we can make that happen, and we're in that process right now. Good news, FERC agreed with Cloverland. That was excellent news, and we're very happy about how it turned out. Would not have happened if our membership hadn't picked up pencil and paper and email and sent all the information out and got the attention of those people. I was very impressed with the fact that democracy does work. When the people speak, the people in government listen. And I saw that in action. It really does work for those people who think nobody listens to you. They do if you communicate to them. And in large numbers, it really worked. I'm very proud of the people in the Eastern UP. Did an excellent job for us. So glad to see this is moving in our direction.
And don't go away, because I'm sure there's some questions and comments. Just a comment, though.
Sure.
Without a doubt, it was the Cloverland gave us the information, but it was the citizens of the Eastern UP that contacting your local, your state and federal representatives, getting them to move, because as I understand it, FERC and MISO are appointed people that have no constituency for the most part. So it's a matter of making sure that you get to your elected officials, which we were able to do, and I know the Convention and Visitors Bureau was on top of that, worked very hard on that whole situation along with your offices to make sure that, because it wasn't only not fair, it was a situation where we would not be able to continue to live in the Eastern UP, given the fact, the amount of money that would have to be raised to pay off that. Businesses wouldn't have come, businesses would have left. And if without businesses and industrial base, you have no jobs. So that we'd have lost population extraordinarily. So that it was just a bad scene all around, and we are certainly a benefit for this new ruling, but keeping an eye on what's going forward to make sure that the mines don't ever think that they can not buy their power from a state agency that's not in Michigan. You know, the Wisconsin Electric's not in Michigan, yet the Presque Isle plant's in Michigan. We're not benefiting from that, so we have to make sure that we're never affected by that whole situation if they ever want to close it. I mean, it's an old coal-fired. I mean, going forward, I'm sure there's some answers that have to be given for what we want to do with power going forward and the upgrades. And I'm sure you'll be talking to us going down the road. But I think Commissioner Gary has a comment or a question. But thank you for your efforts, certainly.
Sure.
You already touched on a couple of them, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank Dan Dashiell and Cloverland for being out in front of this issue and to really did a great campaign to bring awareness to it. We had the opportunity to be in Marquette, I think, for the energy conference with you, and we had some for city government, and we were surprised by the apathetic attitude of the mid-UP and western UP as far as getting out in front of the issue and talking about it. And maybe it would have been in their better interest to be quiet and have Cloverland customers absorb part of the cost for them, but there wasn't much going on over there. And even when we were in Marquette, you were the topic of most of those conversations, and you were the news clip that they showed. So thank you for doing that. And I wanted to also shout out to Linda Hoth and all the work that she did at the CVB. And just have one question. When all this falls out, and hopefully we'll get out of this unscathed, what do you estimate are the legal fees for Cloverland customers to be going through this entire fiasco?
I'm thinking probably $150,000 to $200,000 in legal fees. And that was it's a very tough thing to look at those costs, but at the same time, when you're faced with $22 million, you do what you have to do. And I think it's a very good expenditure for the results that we got.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, item number 7, matters presented by the City Commission. Commissioners? Commissioner Bauer.
All right, in lieu of Commissioner Lind, so moved, we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.